Both of these guns are very fun to shoot, very similar in recoil pattern to a paintball gun. They both have suppressors that make them more than hearing safe when using subsonic ammunition, and they both are running 12.5-inch barrels. The difference is, one of these shoots a bullet that has almost 80% more energy when supersonic than the other one, which means that you are getting a whole lot more stopping power out of one without any of the drawbacks as you are with the other. So let's talk about it. So I've been working on this video for a minute. I was hoping that I would finish moving before we did it, but here we are. These two cartridges are kind of getting compared a lot online, more and more, especially by the 8.6 Blackout crowd, and that's what we're talking about today. It's 8.6 Blackout versus 375 Raptor. Now they're getting compared because they basically have the same mission, they have the same case heritage, same exact short action footprint, they have basically everything the same. The 8.6 Blackout and the 375 Raptor are basically pretty comparable rounds, and if I put them side by side, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell the difference. Now I'm running the 375 Raptor out of the CM7S 12.5-inch bolt action SBR, suppressed with his own placid can, and I'm shooting, again, Chattahoochee Munitions 400 grain subsonic projectiles. For the 8.6 Blackout, my reference point is this Aerosolus pistol, and I have a 12-inch Faxon barrel, so almost a 12.5. I'm running the Q suppressor, and I'm shooting Gorilla ammunition, 342 grain pork shredders, and those are subsonic. Now you're going to see me holding the Chattahoochee Munitions rifle probably a lot during this video. I waited a very long time for this, and it has sold me on 375 Raptor, which sucks because I was an early adopter of 8.6 Blackout. Based on shooter feel, these are going to feel almost the same. They're going to sound almost the same. If you put them back to back and ask me to pick which one's which, I'm honestly not going to be able to tell you. They are both subsonic quiet. They are both very, very pleasant to shoot. They both have basically the same recoil impulse, and you cannot really tell the difference as a shooter shooting the heavier load that this has versus the 342 grain load that the 8.6 has, because they're both just big rounds moving slow. So I'm not going to split hairs on the audio. I'm not even going to compare those two because they are so close. I'm going to talk about the thing that you guys should care about if you are buying one of these, and that is which one hits harder at a distance. I built out some charts for this, I took my time, and we're going to start with the subsonic because I think that's how most of you guys are going to run these two rifles, but I want you to pay attention about the supersonic when we get to it because that is where the gap on these rounds becomes ginormous. I think the numbers are huge, and they probably are going to surprise you a whole lot more than the subsonic data, so let's get into it. All right, let's talk about the subsonic trajectory first, because that's where a lot of people assume that there's a bigger gap than there actually is. Now, Chattahoochee publishes a full chronograph range card for their 375 Raptor. They measure the velocity, the drop, the time of flight out to 600 yards from this exact 12.5-inch barrel. Now, Gorilla does not publish a full range card with drop and flight time like Chattahoochee does, but they do publish ballistic coefficient for this in their load data. It's 0.445 G1 along with the muzzle velocity. So using their published numbers, I'm calculating the 8.6's trajectory rather than just guessing, and I'm going to flag where they're calculated versus verified when I look at the chart, but you guys are going to see the difference and it won't really matter. So we're going to start at 300 yards because I actually shot both of these 300 yards for this test.
So I'm using a 1-to-6, targets 300 yards. The holdover for this right now is the exact bottom of the optic. All the way at the bottom in the middle is my holdover at 300 yards with this. There are no more hash marks. Thank you, kitty.
The 8.6 at 300 has dropped 57 inches more than the Raptor at 300, and that's very noticeable in your optic. The Raptor's at 108 inches of drop, which is crazy, and the 8.6 is at 166, which is even more crazy. Now, 57 inches is a pretty manageable difference for most practical shooting differences, but past 300, that gap gets even wider. I don't know why you'd be shooting subsonic past 300, but on the off chance you are, at 600 yards, the Raptor has dropped 586 inches, which is pretty wild, but the 8.6 has dropped almost 700 inches. That's a 113-inch difference at 600 yards. So if you are absolutely banking these shots, the 8.6, which is a lighter weight round, is actually dropping more than the 375 Raptor, which is a heavier round, and therefore it's going to be carrying a little bit less energy. Now, obviously, at 300 yards, 56 inches is not small, but it's still manageable. It's just something to be aware of. Subsonic performance from these two rifles is very clear that the 375 Raptor is actually giving us better overall performance than the 8.6, even though it is a heavier round, and it's still managing to move with a bunch of energy. So let's get into the energy that those rounds are carrying. Now at the muzzle, the Raptor's 400 grain projectile is carrying 917 foot-pounds of energy, which is massive. Now the 8.6 is carrying a 342 grain load, and it's sitting at around 760 foot-pounds of energy. That's a pretty big gap out of the barrel for these, 21% increase in the Raptor's favor, and you might be thinking, wow, that's going to be so much better than everything else, but it's actually not. You're trading a bullet that drops less for a bullet that carries the energy a little bit better. Now for 375, that's due to projectile design limitations and not necessarily due to the round's nature itself, but at this point by 300 yards, the gap is only about 10%, which is pretty negligible. And at 600 yards, the gap matters even less. It's only about a 3% difference. And that kind of surprised me because I expected the 20% gap to steady or grow, but instead it actually shrinks. Now, I think that comes down to bullet limitations because Gorilla publishes the ballistic coefficient for the 342 grain projectile, and it's better than I would expect at 0.445, and it's a more efficient subsonic round than the blunter 375 projectile that Raptor is running. So even though the Raptor starts with more raw mass and more energy, the 8.6 bullet bleeds off velocity a little bit more slowly and claws back almost its entire gap at 600 yards. So if you're going to judge these two rounds purely by subsonic energy retention at distance, then the 8.6 and Raptor are pretty tied up. The Raptor wins inside of 300 yards, but they pretty much tie outside of that, so I would give them a wash. Now, I want to be straight about why that subsonic gap closes, because it's just physics and it's worth understanding, and it also could be fixed. The 375 Raptor round was designed by necking up 308 Winchester brass to run heavy 375 bullets, and the 8.6 Blackout is built around a 338 bullet instead. It's a smaller diameter, it's lighter in the load, but the 342 grain pork shredder is really well designed, and I would consider it considerably aerodynamic for its size. The Raptor's 400 grain bullet brings more raw mass to the fight, which is why it starts out ahead, but because the 8.6 bullet decelerates more efficiently in this case, it gives back less energy per yard than the Raptor does. The result is two cartridges that converge roughly the same number by the time you're out past 500 yards. So for subsonic, 8.6 is going to win because of the bullet selection, and it shows because when I go to find 375 Raptor rounds, they're almost always sold out, and your selection is really low due to the nature of the round being what I would consider still new and picking up steam. Now, if you're shooting inside of 300 yards and you want that 20% more energy that the 375 Raptor has, you cannot just load the 342 grain projectile hotter and hope it's going to work. They're going to get unstable, you're going to be supersonic, but the only real path here would be to run supersonic out of the 8.6, and they actually make supersonic loads for both, and that's where the huge gap exists, and that's where we're headed next. Before we go too much further, I do want to thank my channel sponsors, Gideon Optics and HSL Ammunition. I wish I would have had this 5-25 from Gideon while I was filming this video, but I got it at the end, so I was running a 1-6 the whole time, which is still very good, but this 5-25 is even better. HSL Ammunition makes good loads, but they don't make 375 Raptor or 8.6 Blackout, so this was an expensive video, but don't forget that if you want 223 or 9mm, they may or may not have it on their site. Now, never use code PLEASE, because that would be bad, and it would tell these companies to keep supporting my channel so I could keep making videos like this for people like you. So for subsonic right now, if you're doing just subsonic loads, I consider it a wash, but I give the Raptor the edge and I prefer it due to the 100 inches less drop at 600 yards, but the 50 inches less drop at 300 yards is actually noticeable. Now, supersonic is where it gets really interesting, and the disadvantage of 375's ammo difficulty, and why I think most guys either reload these or the ammo's always sold out, also shows you the huge advantage that 375 Raptor has over a round like 8.6. And this is what I mean. I've been waiting for this gun forever. I've been trying to get supersonic ammo, and I still don't have any on hand. So since I couldn't get my hands on supersonic loads, After all of this time, I just reached out to Matt at Chattahoochee Munitions and asked him what he's loading and what his load data is, and he shared it with me. Ironically, he is using the exact same 190 grain projectile that most people are using for Supersonic in the 8.6 Blackout, which makes it an easy comparison. The 190 grain projectile runs at 2,400 feet per second out of my 12.5-inch CM7S barrel. That means the Raptors are matched to my exact gun, and the 8.6 numbers come from Guerrilla's published data on their 12-inch test barrel, which is exactly what my Solus is running, so both sides of the comparison are matched to my actual barrel lengths and not generic spec sheets. I did shoot Supersonic 8.6, but it's not nearly as fun. Now you're going to see here on the trajectory chart that Raptor drops about 200 inches at 600 yards, and the 8.6 drops 351 inches with the exact same round, and that's a pretty huge gap. Nothing like what we saw with the Subsonic ammunition, especially considering we're using the same grain projectiles, and in this case, the exact same projectiles. Now the fun part is when you get into energy with these loads, the 190 grain projectile is basically a 1-to-1 velocity to energy trade-off. So at the muzzle, the Raptor's pushing 2,431 foot-pounds of energy. The 8.6 is pushing 1,648 out of these barrels. That's a 48% edge for the Raptor right out of the gate. Now, unlike with the Subsonic, what we don't see is that energy burn off from these guns because now they are shooting the same projectile. So by 600 yards, the Raptor's still carrying 668 foot-pounds, and the 8.6 has fallen to 377 foot-pounds. Now that's a 77% energy advantage for the Raptor at 600 yards, up from 48% at the muzzle. This gap doesn't close, it gets bigger and by a lot, which to me tells me that there's a projectile deficiency in the Subsonic side that will probably get solved as this round evolves. So if you are chasing supersonic energy on targets, maximum energy dump, the 375 Raptor is the only and most no-brainer way to go, and in my opinion, that is kind of why I made this video. Now I want to mention I used the 190 grains because they are equivalent loads coming out of the equivalent sized guns for equivalent magazines, and the Raptor here has some headroom that the 8.6 does not. So Aitken Arms also loads a 235 grain TSX for the 375 Raptor that also comes out at 2,400 feet per second, which is over 3,000 foot-pounds at the muzzle. So if you step up to that load, the gap gets even bigger. Now I didn't make a chart for that because you can see with a 190 grain projectile how big the difference is. You could imagine a 235 grain projectile's even larger. Now we're talking about energy on target and penetration, as we do often on this channel. I want to address something that comes up constantly when I talk to people about the 8.6 round, and it actually is the main reason that I picked up 8.6 as an early adopter and why I have really liked the round, but kind of kept the content to a minimum on production of this round after my first video. So we've all seen the video posted by Q of 8.6 Blackout punching through body armor. The claim that I see online all the time is Subsonic 8.6 is going to punch through soft armor or even level 4 armor. Now I've seen this stated outright in forums and many comment sections, and I want to say that the guys claiming 8.6 will go through level 3A panels like it's nothing are completely wrong. We actually watched me test it in a previous video. I shot a 342 grain 8.6 Blackout Subsonic ammunition, the pork shredder, at a level 3A plate point blank, maybe 10 yards away, and it did not go through the round because, again, velocity is not there. Now you're having a bad day, you are more than likely dead from blunt force trauma behind that panel. It's definitely lethal on its own, but the bullet does not penetrate the armor. And this isn't just my test, there's the exact same test documented online of this exact same load failing to defeat 3A from 75 yards out. So it's not a fluke, it's not like my round shot light, and it's definitely not a distance thing. It just doesn't work. So basically, as you guys know, armor is defeated by velocity, not bullet weight or diameter, and that's the basic physics of it. That's just how it works. And I know that I'm going to get this comment a whole bunch about it defeating body armor, and I've seen the rounds that can defeat body armor, but unfortunately, civilians do not get access to them. We've never actually seen any of it come out, and therefore I have given up on that pipe dream. So here's where these actually land, being someone who now has a stunning 375 Raptor rifle, from CM7S. So in the subsonic rounds, it is a pretty tight fight. It's a lot tighter than Q is going to want you to believe and CM7S. I believe the Raptor starts ahead, but the 8.6 is genuinely still an efficient round, and the gap kind of closes by 600 yards. Now, the drop is a complete another story, and in my opinion, 50 less inches of drop is not something I'm going to just wag my tail at. What? Wag a finger at? Shake a finger at? The drop difference between the two being almost a third less on the Raptor versus the 8.6 Blackout is a lot easier for making those long-range hits. I like to shoot this at about 340 yards, and with a 1-6 on the 8.6 Blackout, I am all the way at the bottom of the optic. There are no hash marks. It's just at the bottom, and luckily with this rifle, I'm just in the very bottom of the hash marks with the 1-6, and at 300 yards, I'd rather have something with a little more magnification if I can, which means I can do it on this rifle and I can't on the 8.6. So where there is less ammo availability for this one because it sells out so fast, I have talked to companies like Velocities Ammunition and others, and I am sending out this rifle to them to hopefully develop some more loads for the 375 Raptor so that that ammo can become more available and solve the problem. But for now, if I'm just shooting subsonic, I am going to take the 8.6 Blackout due to the affordability and availability of rounds. Now, supersonic is why I have a 375 Raptor, why I'm trying to send it to companies, and why I'm trying to get more companies involved in investing in this round. It carries so much more energy, it's not even close to the 8.6. The lead just grows more and more as it flies further and further, and if raw stopping power is what you're after and you're willing to run these things loud with ear protection, then the Raptor doesn't just win, it's not really a fair contest. And as far as the body armor claims floating around for 8.6 subsonic or that spin rate that they talk about, it doesn't hold up, and I don't think it's accurate. I think that it doesn't work at 10 yards, and we've seen it doesn't work at 75. At the end of the day, these are really well-designed cartridges doing a similar job. Subsonic, I would consider it close enough, and personal preference could definitely decide for you. But if you're picking between supersonic, the gap is real, it's not subtle, it's not even close, and the 1 in 3 twist rate with extra spin on the 8.6 is not going to make up for a 70% power difference at distance.